Okay, I'm back with Kevin, and this is the final video in our 6-video series on soldering. The topic of this video is desoldering and cleaning. Go ahead, Kevin.
Great, thanks. Well, you know, occasionally you may need to remove a wire because it breaks or you just didn't do things quite right. And we're going to show you how to do that. So the first thing you want to do is take your flux pen and apply flux to the wire that you want to remove. Take your soldering iron, apply thin, clean it, always clean it, and apply a thin coat of solder. And then heat the joint. Allow your soldering iron to do the work. Don't press on the solder joint and don't tug on the wire. Once the solder is melted, slip the wire out. Clean, but don't tin your soldering iron this time. And if you have it, take your wire braid, apply flux to the wire braid even if it already has flux in it. And we're going to use this to pull off any excess solder so that we can apply fresh solder over the joint when we put a new wire in. Place the wire over the solder and with a dry solder tip come in on top of the wire. The flux will heat and smoke, and then you'll see the wire turning silver as the solder flows up onto the wire. Allow this to continue till either no more solder is flowing onto the wire wick or until the wire wick has become completely saturated. Lift the wire wick and the solder gun off at the same time. If the hole is not completely open, don't worry because you can always reinsert the wire with the hole slightly plugged. If this is the case, simply apply flux and then feed your wire in or align your wire with the hole. Slightly tin your tip. Align the wire with the hole. And then heat, and once all the solder is melted, you can push the wire through. Once the wire is pushed through, tape your wire in place, flux, and then finish out your soldering operation. With either soldering or desoldering, you never want to press into the board with your soldering iron because you can actually rip these pads off of the board. Allow the soldering iron to do the work. Once all your solder joints are completely soldered, you want to clean the solder joints. Even if you're using a no-clean solder flux, it's still a good idea because all fluxes are at least somewhat corrosive. The no clean does not require you to clean it because it actually forms a hard crust over the solder joint that prevents further corrosion. But again, you can always clean regardless of whether it's a no clean or an RMA flux. To clean, take your catch pan and your rubbing alcohol. Apply a liberal amount of alcohol. Take your old toothbrush and gently rub the solder joint. And then do a final rinse with your alcohol. Allow the board to completely dry before you turn the power onto it. And that's it.
So we hope this video series of soldering and soldering tips and equipment will help you in your soldering efforts going down the road. Have a great day.